Facilities Director Don Crawford says Smith brings more than a decade of experience in customer service and sales. She previously worked as an operations manager and a licensed realtor in Port Angeles and Sequim, and most recently she was the catering sales manager at Red Lion Port Angeles Harbor and the 48 Degrees North restaurant, planning and executing a variety of community events there. In her new role, Smith will oversee production and marketing for the annual fair, while also coordinating the fairground events throughout the year. The Labor Mountain Fire burning near Blewett Pass has grown in size. It's forced road closures and the evacuation. The wildfire, which began in early September, is burning west of Highway 97, south of the Enchantments. Late Sunday, the State Department of Transportation closed a 30-mile section of Blewett Pass. Officials say they are going to continue to reassess conditions. Chelan County Emergency Management issued a Level 3 evacuation order for much of that area. A Washington State University football player was shot early Sunday morning following an altercation at a party just hours after the Apple Cup. Pullman police officers responded to a report of the shooting in the Aspen Heights apartments about 1:47 a.m. Sunday and found the victim, a redshirt freshman offensive lineman, shot in the abdomen. He was taken to Pullman Regional Hospital and underwent surgery. Court documents say the shooting happened after the player and his friends were asked to help with party security. The victim intervened when the suspect reportedly assaulted a woman, then stepped in again during a second altercation involving the same suspect and another woman. Moments later, he was shot. Police recovered a 9mm pistol at the scene. A witness saw the suspect leave in a dark sedan. Investigators ID'd the suspect through social media and confirmed he is a University of Washington student from West Seattle. A felony warrant for his arrest is now out. This is Newsradio KONP.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony, inviting you to join me for our first concert of the 93rd season, Saturday, September 27th at 7:30 p.m. at the Port Angeles High School Performing Arts Center. This program will feature something for the entire family, including music from Star Trek and Aaron Copland's Hoedown. Lisa Bergman from Classical King FM will narrate Britain's Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, and violin superstar Francisca Peach will perform Korngold's dazzling violin concerto. For a special treat, choruses from Port Angeles and Sequim High Schools will join us in music by Leonard Bernstein. Tickets are available online at portangelessymphony.org, at Port Book and News, at the door, or by calling 457-5579. See you at the Symphony.
Dr. Sam Skovgaard here, General Surgeon at Olympic Medical Center. If you've noticed a bulge beneath your skin, on your abdomen or groin, it could be a hernia. And if it's causing you pain, it's time to talk to your doctor. If your hernia requires surgery, your general surgery team at OMC is here to help. Talk to your primary care provider if you think you may need treatment for a hernia. Let's keep you healthy and hernia-free together. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/hernia.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Partly cloudy this afternoon with a high of 67. Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, 52. Tomorrow, highs around 65. Upper 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday with a slight chance of rain. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 64 Saturday, 64 Sunday, and 61 on Monday. Another look at the short range, a high of 67 today, lows level off around 52 tonight, a high of 65 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 63 degrees.
A statement made on Monday night. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Lions went into Baltimore for Monday Night Football and come out with an 8-point win. 4 rushing touchdowns for Detroit, 2 each for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Lions win at 38-30. Detroit coach Dan Campbell.
To be able to come in here on a Monday night at their place with those weapons, that type of team, that's a good win for us, you know. I don't know, statement, all this and that, but it just feels good to know against a type of team like that, you play a different type of game and you're able to find a way to win.
Among the possessions for Detroit, scoring drives of 98 yards and 96 yards. The defense comes up with 7 sacks of Lamar Jackson. Baltimore falls to 1-2. They'll face another 1-2 team in Week 4 when they go to Kansas City and face the Chiefs. Niners are among the 3-0 teams, but they learned yesterday they'll be without defensive end Nick Bosa for the rest of the season. He has a torn right ACL. Chargers say running back Najee Harris is done for the season, torn Achilles. Cowboys could be looking at 3 to 4 weeks without CeeDee Lamb. He has a high ankle sprain. On the heels of their 30-0 shutout loss, Atlanta firing wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard. Baseball, final week of the regular season, and another team officially added to the postseason.
First pitch, Fermin swings, lines it into center field. That'll do it. Freddie Fermin walks it off as Bryce Johnson scores, and the Padres are headed back to the playoffs in 2025.
97-3 The Fan. Padres an 11th inning walk-off win over the Brewers to clinch at least a wild card berth. They're 2.5 out of the division. Cardinals a 6-5 win over the Giants. They're both 3.5 games out of a wild card spot. Braves an 11-5 win over the Nationals for their 9th straight win, but Atlanta loses Ozzie Albies to a broken bone in his hand. From college, ACC athletic directors agreeing to go to a 9-game conference schedule. Bruce Pearl stepping down as the hoops coach at Auburn.
In local sports, local basketball fans should circle Wednesday, November 19th on their calendars. Going to be a big night at the University of Washington's Heckhead Pavilion. On that night, former Port Angeles Rough Rider and Peninsula Pirate standout Millie Long returns to the Pacific Northwest with her Fresno State Bulldogs to take on the Washington Huskies. Adding to the excitement, 2 5th and 6th grade girls teams from Sequim and Port Angeles, where they're going to square off in a special halftime game. Group seating's being arranged for local fans with tickets available next week. For ticket and game day details, you can contact Ole Archibald. In prep tennis yesterday, Port Angeles edged Sequim 4-3 in a tightly contested match. In singles, Sky Gelder topped Lincoln Bear 6-4, 6-2. Grant Butterworth rolled past Zach Post 6-love, 6-1. And Owen Leitz rallied past Wyatt Perez 4-6, 6-1, 6-2. In doubles, Liam Miller and Jensen Wolf fell to Mason Rappeljay and Bjorn Henson 5-7, 4-6. Alec Ross and Jacob Oberle lost to Sebastian Buehrer and Ryan Stites 5-7, 4-6. And Brent Mason and Gagan Serra dropped their match to Tegan Kurtz and Josh Laux 2-6, 5-7. Abe Brinkman and Kyler Fowler clinched the win for Port Angeles with a hard-fought 7-6, 7-6 victory over Lawson Klinger and Nico Maus. The Hood Canal Bridge closure forcing some changes to several high school sporting events on the North Olympic Peninsula. The North Kitsap and Port Angeles soccer and volleyball matches originally set for today. They've been rescheduled for 1 p.m. on Saturday. Meanwhile, Sequim soccer and volleyball contests against Olympic will still be played today, but both have been moved up a couple of hours to a 4:30 start time. Looking ahead, the Port Angeles swim team still to host Bremerton tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Former Rough Rider swimmer Harper McGuire, meantime, is making waves in her sophomore year at the University of Puget Sound, competing in the 50-meter freestyle for the Loggers this year. Seattle Mariners open a crucial home series tonight against the Colorado Rockies. They push toward the postseason. Seattle enters at 87-69 after sweeping Houston to grab a 3-game lead in the AL West, with Houston now chasing and teams like Boston, Cleveland, and the Yankees battling for wild card slots. This week's games could decide not only the division, but also playoff seeding and home field advantage for the Mariners. We'll have that game on the air this evening, 5:30 here on KONP, brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
And may I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Jen Flanagan joins us with news on a local author book fair that's happening at Field Arts and Events Hall. Plus, Rebecca Seen directs the Port Angeles Community Players production of The Foreigner. She'll share the inside scoop.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute.
Jimmy Kimmel is returning to ABC tonight after fallout from comments the comedian made in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death. But Sinclair and Nexstar Media Group, that owns some of ABC's affiliate stations, say they will not resume airing Jimmy Kimmel Live. The two station groups account for about 23% of U.S. households. For those living in markets where the show will not air, you will be able to watch on the Hulu streaming service. Arguments are underway in the lawsuit that claims Amazon duped customers into signing up for the company's Prime subscription service and then made it too hard to cancel. Jurors are deciding whether Amazon broke consumer protection laws, potentially exposing the company to billions of dollars in penalties and refunds. Amazon says it receives consent from consumers to enroll in Prime and provides simple mechanisms to cancel. Markets are down between 0.3% and 1%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Get a first look at the noontime traffic next.
Leeds Farm Supply is your locally owned LS tractor dealer. But did you know that it's the only locally owned service center too? Leeds offers you complete service on all your LS tractors from day one. They have 2 full-time trained technicians, a fully stocked parts department, and competitive pricing for a quick turnaround. Call or text today at 360-452-1400 or stop in at 259-110 Highway 101 in Sequim. Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales, your local farm store, and so much more.
McCrory Carpet One is part of a 1,000-store co-op. That means you get the competitive pricing of a big box store, but with a superior installation. Their team of professional installers are all employees who live here on the peninsula. Their installation teams take pride in their work because they know they're working for their neighbors and friends, local craftsmen helping local people. Experience the difference. It's why they say, always priced right and always done right. At McCrory Carpet One.
Newsradio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Right up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go now. That's where Steve's standing by. He's watching the roads this noon hour for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of busy out there. If you are out and about the Port Angeles or Sequim area, you're going to find a lot of traffic out there right now. Moving along okay. I mean, you're really not having too much problem. A little slowdowns at the stoplights. A little congested downtown Port Angeles along Marine Drive in the bottom of the truck route there because of our road division there or change. So just be careful as you make your way through that area. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, no problems there. It's busy, but traffic is moving along at the speed limit. Beyond the Sequim area, we got the Hood Canal Bridge good to go right now with no scheduled openings, although tonight at 8 p.m. it shuts down, and that shuts down all night till 5 a.m. in the morning. So plan ahead if you're going to be headed in that direction. State ferries, though, are running on time today. If you're headed out to the west end, we're in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. Just light to moderate traffic out there right now. We do have the 101 closure here at the top of the truck route, so the truck route is your only way out of town to the west, so just be aware of that and plan on a little extra time to make your way through because it can get pretty crowded across 8th Street, also at the Marine Drive intersection. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
All right, thank you, Steve. We'll get another update from you in about a half hour as we continue here on the new news hour for this Tuesday. Going to be sunny the rest of the day today. We'll hit about 70. Clear tonight, lows in the low to mid-50s, and sunny again tomorrow, mid-60s to low 70s. Currently, lots of sunshine across the North Peninsula. In Port Townsend, clear and 63. Out west at Forks, they're up to 72 now under sunny conditions. It's 64 and clear in Sequim, 63 and sunny right now here in Port Angeles.
ABC Entertainment News.
Jimmy Kimmel Live is expected to air a new episode tonight, days after Disney suspended production on the show after Kimmel's comments following the killing of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Disney, the parent company of ABC News, said the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. After days of what they call thoughtful conversations with Kimmel, they reached the decision to return the show. Zayn has announced a Las Vegas residency, set to take place this January at Dolby Live at Park MGM. It follows up the singer's solo tour last year, which marked his first tour dates since leaving the band One Direction in 2015. Pre-sale tickets go on sale tomorrow and become available to the general public on Friday. And the boss is celebrating a birthday today. Bruce Springsteen is 76. Mike Dubosky, ABC News.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Social prescriptions are something that I've been reading a lot about lately. They are kind of exactly what they sound like. Prescriptions from a doctor to do something social with other people, usually involving movement, nature, art, service. These prescriptions aren't meant to take anything away from actual prescriptions for medication, for example. They are meant to be additive. Take pain, for example. Pain is a feeling that is very different from person to person, but it's also different from day to day within a person. You can think of it like a dial. Some things can turn it up, other things can turn it down, including distractions. And there's an added bonus. We humans are social creatures. We do crave meaningful connection. I'd love to tell you more about this in my new book. It's called It Doesn't Have to Hurt, Your Guide to a Pain-Free Life, which is on sale now. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit Lowe's.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. Where do successful businesses come from? You say money and power and connections. Okay, hold that thought. I have a story to tell after this important message. Hello, Jerry Stewart here. Question, what are you, an American or an Americant? You might be saying, what's the difference? Glad you asked. An American is someone who sees a problem in our nation, and rather than running from the problem, you stay. And you say, I can fix the problem. And you do, helping to make our great America even greater. And an Americant? Pretty simple, pretty sad. You say, there's a problem. You don't have a solution. You don't even try to make a solution. And that is being an Americant. And we don't need any more Americans, but more Americans. Do yourself a big favor. Go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and join our American Club by subscribing. And when you do, we'll send you an official American certificate to hang up and show to all that you're an American. So go to www.jerrystewartusa.com and join now. See you there. What does it take to grow a highly successful business? The answer may surprise you. In the year 1910, with no sizable venture capital, no pull or power or position, a man, Joyce Hall, started a simple mail-order picture postcard business in Kansas City, Missouri, while he was still attending business college. And get this, he was only age 18. So what happened to the Joyce Hall picture postcard business? It became the largest greeting card company in the world. You know it as Hallmark cards. They say every person has at least $1 million idea. What's yours? I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Bathfitter is celebrating 42,000 installations in Western Washington by offering you monthly payments as low as $125 a month. Hooray! Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This offer won't last long.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Call 360-968-4943.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. That's 800-561-6198.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. A verdict reached in the Ryan Ruth trial. He has been found guilty on all 5 counts in connection with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump on a South Florida golf course last year. Ruth facing life in prison. At the United Nations, President Trump blames Europe's commitment to green energy, to creating high energy costs, contributing to more than 175,000 heat-related deaths.
What is that all about? That's not Europe. That's not the Europe that I love and know. All in the name of pretending to stop the global warming hoax. The entire globalist concept of asking successful industrialized nations to inflict pain on themselves and radically disrupt their entire societies must be rejected completely and totally, and it must be immediate.
The president has also used the moment to oppose recognition of a Palestinian state. President Trump threatening sanctions against Russia, but says European countries must join in. Greg Clugston has more.
Addressing the United Nations, the president said he's prepared to impose powerful tariffs if Russia doesn't end its war in Ukraine.
For those tariffs to be effective, European nations would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures.
And he said EU nations must stop buying Russian energy.
They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia.
He argued they're funding the war against themselves. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has rejected direct negotiations with the United States over his country's nuclear program. Meanwhile, France, Germany, and the UK began the process of reimposing sanctions on Iran at the end of August. Stocks have moved lower, the Dow dropping 123 points, the Nasdaq off 233. More at townhall.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
A powerful typhoon, Ragasso, is headed toward southern China. That's after lashing the Philippines with destructive winds and torrential rain. Tens of millions of people could be impacted by the storm. Moldovans are facing a wave of AI-driven misinformation.
It's all ahead of a crucial parliamentary election on Sunday. Online monitoring groups have tracked Russian propaganda campaigns aimed at reducing support for the pro-European Party of Action and Solidarity, or PAS. Researchers say these campaigns mark a new phase in Russian influence operations using AI to impersonate Western media and flood comment sections. Moldovan President Maya Sandu has warned that this vote is the most consequential in the country's history, determining its future with the EU or Russia. Keith Peters, Washington.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Californians got an early morning wake-up call on Monday with a 4.3 magnitude earthquake, the most shaking in the San Francisco Bay Area. But people reported feeling the shaking as far north as Santa Rosa and far south as Salinas. One of college basketball's most notable coaches is calling it a career.
Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl has announced his retirement months after taking the Tigers to their second NCAA Final Four. Pearl's 38-year-old son, Stephen Pearl, is taking over as head coach of the Tigers. In a video on social media, the 65-year-old Pearl says he feels it's time to pass the torch. Pearl is leaving Auburn as the school's winningest men's coach. He will move into an ambassador role as an assistant to Auburn's athletic director and says he is not going into politics after rumors had circulated about a potential Senate run. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Town North Live from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, September 23rd. The decades-long effort to clean up toxic waste at the Rainier Mill site in Port Angeles appears to finally be making some headway, with the State Department of Ecology presenting its choice of a final plan for cleanup at an open house back in July. Well, that was followed by a public comment period, yielding over 300 comments, overwhelmingly siding with the city of Port Angeles, saying that Ecology solution did not go far enough. Now, we've learned that a representative of Ecology canceled a standing quarterly meeting with the city that was supposed to take place on Monday, and the agency is telling city officials they need more time to work on the required responsiveness summary. That's a comprehensive review of all those community comments. City Manager Nathan West replied to the cancellation of the meeting with an email of his own saying, quote, "We do not object to the meeting cancellation as long as Ecology provides us with a firm commitment on a not-to-exceed date by which a responsiveness summary will be publicly released by Ecology this year." Now, Ecology's solution would leave contaminants they consider at least dangerous piled up on about 10 acres of the Rainier property next to the harbor. They'd cover that with fabric and earthen materials. That solution is considered unacceptable, though, by city staff, the city council, and many residents. West told KONP that when it comes to the community's push to get a better outcome, the importance of the responsiveness summary cannot be overstated.
That document couldn't be more important relative to the amount of investment Port Angeles made in building public comment and submitting public comment to Department of Ecology. And we want to make sure Ecology focuses on that and gives us really concerted effort to consistently and carefully consider and weigh the comments provided so that we can see an improved outcome than what they originally had proposed.
Now, the only outcome city officials and most of the community at large want to see is a total removal of all contaminants from the mill site. And if Ecology needs more time to come to that agreement, West says he's willing to give it to them.
The cancellation is less concerning if we know that Ecology is in fact taking the time to actually work to fully contemplate the amazing comments provided with a very large spectrum of this community. So we certainly hope Ecology is giving that every bit of diligence as they review, and we certainly hope for that being the final outcome.
Now, we've included a link in this story on our website at myclallamcounty.com that will let you read the public comments on the issue. A Clallam County judge has sentenced a 20-year-old Port Angeles man to 14 months in prison for second-degree assault by strangulation and unlawful imprisonment. Wyatt Hale pleaded guilty to the charges September 17th in Clallam County Superior Court. According to court documents, Hale grabbed his then-girlfriend by the throat, lifted her off the ground, restricted her breathing, and prevented her from calling 911 or leaving her home. Prosecutor said the sentence falls at the top of a standard range for a first-time offender. Following his release, Hale will be placed under community custody supervision by the State Department of Corrections. The charges stem from two separate incidents. One case was dismissed as part of a global resolution, which allowed both survivors to present victim impact statements at the sentencing. Each was also granted a 10-year protection order against Hale. Judge Simon Barnhart handed down the sentence last week following that guilty plea. More news after this.
The race for change, a diaper change, is on. September 1st kicks off the 2025 Great Diaper Drive, hosted by First Step Family Support Center. All month long, businesses across Clallam and Jefferson counties will be competing for the Golden Diaper Trophy, and KONP is in the race. That's right, you can drop off diapers, wipes, and baby essentials right here at KONP as we team up with the community to wipe out diaper need. Every donation goes directly to First Steps Diaper Bank, helping local families keep their little ones clean, dry, and healthy. Drop off your new diapers, wipes, and baby essentials to our studio at 721 East 1st Street in Port Angeles. With state funding cut in half this year, families need your help more than ever. So let's rally together, Peninsula. Support your neighbors, support KONP, and help us bring home that Golden Diaper Trophy. For all the details, visit firststepfamilysupport.org. The Great Diaper Drive, because no family should ever have to choose between dinner and diapers.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
In other news, Clallam County has selected Aspen Smith as its new fair and special event coordinator. Smith, a lifelong Port Angeles resident, began her duties September 16th after being chosen from a field of 5 finalists. No internal county employees applied for the job. Parks, Fair, and Facilities Director Don Crawford says Smith brings more than a decade of experience in customer service and sales. She previously worked as an operations manager and a licensed realtor in Port Angeles and Sequim, and most recently she was the catering sales manager at Red Lion Port Angeles Harbor and the 48 Degrees North restaurant, planning and executing a variety of community events there. In her new role, Smith will oversee production and marketing for the annual fair, while also coordinating the fairground events throughout the year. The Labor Mountain Fire burning near Blewett Pass has grown in size. It's forced road closures and the evacuation. The wildfire, which began in early September, is burning west of Highway 97, south of the Enchantments. Late Sunday, the State Department of Transportation closed a 30-mile section of Blewett Pass. Officials say they are going to continue to reassess conditions. Chelan County Emergency Management issued a Level 3 evacuation order for much of that area. A Washington State University football player was shot early Sunday morning following an altercation at a party just hours after the Apple Cup. Pullman police officers responded to a report of the shooting in the Aspen Heights apartments about 1:47 a.m. Sunday and found the victim, a redshirt freshman offensive lineman, shot in the abdomen. He was taken to Pullman Regional Hospital and underwent surgery. Court documents say the shooting happened after the player and his friends were asked to help with party security. The victim intervened when the suspect reportedly assaulted a woman, then stepped in again during a second altercation involving the same suspect and another woman. Moments later, he was shot. Police recovered a 9mm pistol at the scene. A witness saw the suspect leave in a dark sedan. Investigators ID'd the suspect through social media and confirmed he is a University of Washington student from West Seattle. A felony warrant for his arrest is now out. This is Newsradio KONP.
Home affordability. Yes, it does exist here on the peninsula with Mountain View Homes. Looking for a quality craftsmanship home at 40% less than stick-built? Call Mountain View Homes. We specialize in affordable homes with full-service land packages, dirt to turnkey, quality, beautiful, and an efficient manufactured home on the site of your choice. Mountain View Homes has 3 locations to serve you, including Carlsberg. Visit mtviewhomes.com. That's mtviewhomes.com.
Hi, I'm Kendra Elliott, Marketing Manager at Price Ford Lincoln in Port Angeles. We know times are tough and no family in our community should have to go hungry. That's why we're hosting Fill a Ford now through September 25th We're collecting non-perishable food donations to help families right here at home. You can drop them off at Price Ford Lincoln in Port Angeles or at the Squim Food Bank inside of QFC. Help us fill a Ford, but hurry! Donate through this Thursday at Price Ford Lincoln in Port Angeles and QFC in Squim. Price Ford Lincoln, proud to stand with you.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, we wear a lot of different hats. We are investigators, analysts, and the protectors of property rights. We seek a high standard of accuracy. Our commitment to exceptional service strengthens our mission. We reduce risk. We stay on top of current issues affecting property rights. We sweat the small stuff to give our customers the peace of mind they deserve. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title.
Here's your Newsradio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Partly cloudy this afternoon with a high of 67. Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, 52. Tomorrow, highs around 65. Upper 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday with a slight chance of rain. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 64 Saturday, 64 Sunday, and 61 on Monday. Another look at the short range, a high of 67 today, lows level off around 52 tonight, a high of 65 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 63 degrees.
The Mariners open in the last homestand, last stretch of games for the regular season tonight. Colorado Rockies in town. We'll take the air at 5:30 here on KONP, brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Now with the rest of the sports, here's Robert Workman's take.
The Lions rushed past the Ravens 38-30 last night to wrap up NFL Week 3. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery each ran for 2 touchdowns, and Detroit had TD drives of 96 and 98 yards, while their defense sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times. Coach Dan Campbell.
We just, at different times in critical moments, our guys stepped up, and when we needed it most, every unit picked up the slack, and that's what winning teams do.
Thursday, Week 4 kicks off with the Seahawks at the Cardinals. Niners defensive end Nick Bosa is out for the year with a torn right ACL, the injury coming late in Sunday's win over Arizona, and the Chargers have lost running back Najee Harris to a torn Achilles. This will be the first games he's ever missed in his 5-year NFL career. Only 3 games on the diamond last night to start the final week of the regular season. The Padres outlasted the Brewers 5-4 in 11 innings. This was billed as a clash of aces, but Nick Pivetta gave up 3 Milwaukee runs in the second inning, while 17-game winner Freddie Peralta balked him 1 run and served up a homer to Jose Iglesias, just the shortstop's second long ball this year. Each team scratched out a run in the 10th inning. Then in the 11th, Freddie Fermin singled in the walk-off winner that put San Diego into the postseason. Cardinals shaded the Giants 6-5, both teams clinging to slim playoff hopes, and the Braves battered the Nationals 11-5. Ohio State remains at the top of the latest college football polls. Miami jumped up to number 2 in the writers' survey, ahead of Penn State and LSU, with Georgia holding on to 5th. The coaches kept the status quo, with Penn State, Georgia, LSU, and Oregon in their top 5. Coming up this weekend, the number 1 Buckeyes travel to undefeated Washington. The second-ranked Hurricanes are idle, but there's a big one in Happy Valley. Number 3 Penn State and number 6 Oregon in primetime. Also Saturday, 4th-ranked LSU visits number 13 Mississippi, and number 5 Georgia hosts number 17 Alabama. That's Tuesday Sports.
Hi, this is John Hull. I'm president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Jen Flanagan joins us with news on a local author book fair that's happening at Field Arts and Events Hall. Plus, Rebecca Seen directs the Port Angeles Community Players production of The Foreigner. She'll share the inside scoop.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. That's old news. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet and TV, you you now have tons of options. Save money and get more internet speed and better TV today by calling the Whole Home Connect. We scan your location and offer you the best TV and internet options. And we always have specials and promotions. So when you call, ask about that. Take 5 minutes of your time. Make this free call now and learn how to save money and get better internet and TV for your home anywhere in the U.S. Make this simple and free call now.
800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. That's 800-699-0358.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. If you need help playing games on Google's Android platform, there's now an AI assistant that can offer you live coaching. It's part of Google's effort to boost engagement on its platform. Gamers can ask the assistant to interpret what's happening on the screen, and in response, the assistant offers conversational suggestions so users don't have to exit the game to find tutorials online. Today's the day you can buy actor Ben Stiller's new Better For You soda that does not contain prebiotics like Olipop and Poppy. According to Food Dive, Stiller's soda comes in 3 flavors: root beer, lemon lime, and Shirley Temple. The company says each can has 30 calories and 7 grams of sugar, and also some added vitamins and natural ingredients. Right now you can buy Stiller's soda on Amazon and on Walmart's website in the coming months. No records today. Markets are lower. They're down between 0.25% and 1%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Check on the traffic next.
Save big right now at Angela's Furniture. And when I say big, I mean truckload big. The Serta Truckload Sale is going on now. Check out a Serta Perfect Sleeper Blue Lagoon Firm Queen for only $679. Upgrade to a Serta iComfort Aspire Medium Queen for only $19.99. And take it a step further with a new adjustable bed base. A queen size starts at only $599. And right now, get 0% financing for 12 months OAC. See the Serta experts today, only at Angela's Furniture.
Growing your family is an exciting journey, and the labor and delivery team at Olympic Medical Center is here to walk it with you. Our team tailors your birthing experience with you, offering the choice and security you're looking for from the comfort of OMC's Birth Center. Learn more about OMC's team of obstetricians, nurse midwives, RNs, lactation consultants, and more at olympicmedical.org/Stork Squad.
News Radio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Back up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center now, and that's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the traffic for us again. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're still doing pretty good out there. A little bit on the busy side if you're in the Port Angeles or Sequim area right now, especially downtown Port Angeles along Front Street, First Street, coming in to town. You're going to find quite a bit of traffic down there right now. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, things looking pretty good. It's busy out there, but traffic is moving along pretty smoothly. Really not much of a challenge making your way through to the Sequim area. Once you're past the Sequim area right now, Hood Canal Bridge is good to go with no scheduled marine openings, although tonight, 8 o'clock, it closes, and it stays closed until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you are going to be heading that way, plan ahead. Save yourself some time and try and get across the bridge before 8 o'clock. If you're beyond that and looking for the ferries, they are running on time today. West End traffic, we're in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. Moving along at the speed limit, really no issues out there. Probably a pretty nice drive for you today. We do have our road closure there at 101, and so we're using the Tumwater truck route in order to get out of town. Just be careful and expect some delays on that, especially a little later on this afternoon at the 5 o'clock hour. It really gets busy through that section, so plan ahead. Everybody take care. Enjoy your afternoon. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Going to be sunny the rest of the day today. Upper 60s to about 70. Clear tonight. Lows to mid-50s tonight overnight. And then sunny again tomorrow. We'll hit the low 70s as well. Right now it is sunny across the peninsula. 63 in Port Townsend. 72 out west at Forks. Sequim's got 64, and it's sunny and 63 now here in Port Angeles. Well, in Michigan, the family of a 5-year-old claiming he died during a medical treatment, all because of corporate greed. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
The family says Thomas Cooper, who was being treated for sleep apnea and ADHD, died in a fire and explosion as he was undergoing oxygen therapy at the Oxford Medical Center in Troy, Michigan this year. The civil lawsuit targets the Oxford Center and the maker of the hyperbaric chamber, claiming negligent training, a lack of supervision, and a lack of signage warning of the fire risk.
The manager of the Oxford Center responding, saying that he prays for the family, but calling it just a tragic accident. Meantime, the maker of the chamber has not yet publicly responded to the new claims. Well, while consumers flock to online sources for goods and services, a few legacy retailers refuse to go down without a fight. And at least one says ABC's Jim Ryan is trying to stage a brick-and-mortar comeback.
At its peak, Toys R Us had nearly 1,700 stores worldwide and controlled 1/4 of the global toy market. One bankruptcy filing at a change of ownership later, the company operates 6 locations but has plans to more than double that number, with 3 openings slated in California and 1 each in Colorado, Iowa, Maryland, and Nebraska by the end of 2025.
We continue on the Noon News Hour for this Tuesday, September 23rd, with Kim Commando and her Consumer Tech Minute for today.
I love Amazon Prime, and so do 200 million other Amazon customers who gladly pay $140 a year for extra perks like free delivery, sometimes even same-day delivery, movies, music, and TV, plus a host of other goodies. But what happens if you want to cancel? That's the question going to court this week. I'm Kim Commando for ExpressVPN, my go-to for online privacy. One-click hide your internet activity from hackers and snoops. Get 4 extra months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Amazon Prime is the largest paid subscription program in the world. You can join with one click, but getting out is not that easy. In fact, the Federal Trade Commission says Amazon makes it near impossible to cancel. You have to navigate 4 different web pages and answer 15 questions. The FTC claims that Amazon duped 40 million people to join. Amazon says that regardless, 95% of their Prime customers are happy. Are you? Get my newsletter at getkim.com. Imagine this. A stranger breaks into your home, installs hidden cameras, and records everything you do, and then sells all the footage. Outrageous, right? But online, something just as creepy happens every single day, and it's completely legal. In the United States, internet providers can track everything you do online. Every website, every search, even in private mode. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It works like a deadbolt for your internet privacy, hiding your activity from hackers, advertisers, even your internet provider. It also hides your internet location. With servers in over 100 countries, you can change your internet location with just one click. And ExpressVPN works across all your devices, your phone, tablet, laptop, even your smart TV. One subscription covers up to 8 devices. And right now, get up to 4 extra months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's right, 4 extra months free by going to expressvpn.com/Kim. Go right now, expressvpn.com/Kim.
So when Mom told you to stand up straight, it turns out, she was right about that too. I'll explain why researchers say standing tall, like a superhero, is the perfect confidence booster. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Turns out standing up straight is not only good for your posture, it also has an effect on us psychologically. New research showing that standing tall, like a superhero, it can make you feel more confident and act more confidently. According to the journal Psychological Bulletin, a strong upright posture triggers the release of feel-good hormones, and that boosts your mood and confidence, making you more likely to take risks and go after new opportunities. It makes you more resilient, meaning you're much more likely to try again when things don't go your way, which increases the likelihood you'll eventually succeed. And other research backs this up. Dr. Eric Pepper is a psychology professor at San Francisco State. He found that when athletes, public speakers, and musicians struck a superhero pose before a performance, they did better across the board. That's it. I'm John Tesh with today's Superhero Intelligence for Your Life Posture Minute.
Projects piling up? See Brim Tractor in Carlsberg and save. Get as low as 0% financing for 84 months on Bobcat compact tractors. How about a Bobcat zero-turn mower? Finance it for as low as 0% for 48 months. Or get rebates up to $900 in lieu of financing on select models. Visit Brim Tractor, Highway 101 in Carlsberg, or online at brimmachinery.com. Some exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Hello, I'm a disabled veteran, and thanks to Sarge's Veteran Support, I live at Minsky Place in Sequim. Are you spring cleaning or downsizing? Turn your unused items into homes for heroes. Sarge's Veteran Support's thrift store in Forks accepts donations of furniture, household goods, antiques, and collectibles, all to fund housing for veterans across the Olympic Peninsula. Visit sargesveteransupport.org to learn more. Your generosity will change lives.
Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Sequim, serving the Olympic Peninsula now for 80 years. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Florida, a jury found Ryan Ruth guilty on all counts in the attempted assassination trial of Donald Trump on a golf course last year. Ruth had represented himself at trial. After the verdict was read, Ruth was forcibly removed after an outburst. ABC's Catherine Falders says ABC News producer Peter Haralambous was watching the proceedings.
What happened, according to Peter, who observed this, was that 4 armed marshals, U.S. Marshals, who are obviously in that courtroom, surrounded Ryan Ruth, who appeared to stand once the jury left the courtroom. He was surrounded by the marshals who walked out of the courtroom. His daughter, Ruth's daughter, Sarah Ruth, was seated in there yelling, "Dad, I love you. I will get you out." But there was some sort of outburst in the court.
According to sources familiar with the matter, Ruth attempted to stab himself with a pin amid the chaos when the verdict was handed down. He left marks on his neck but was not injured. At the United Nations General Assembly today, President Trump, after addressing world leaders, held talks with leaders on the sidelines. He met with Ukraine's President Zelensky and criticized Russia in a social media post afterwards, saying he believes, after seeing the economic trouble that Russia is in, he believes that Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to win back its country. The president also pushed for a Gaza ceasefire deal and hostage release deal. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burrich has more.
I think what we didn't get from the president in that speech is any comment or suggestions about what might come in Gaza the day after the war. So when the war does finally finish, what will happen next? These are the intractable questions which we believe the US is discussing, and according to US officials, they are looking at this with potentially Arab nations, Muslim nations, trying to work out if they could play a role in Gaza afterwards. But there's a lot of detail to be worked out.
On Wall Street today, stocks ending lower, led by tech stocks that lost value. You're listening to ABC News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Members of the medical community are rejecting President Trump's announcement yesterday advising pregnant women not to take acetaminophen in the brand Tylenol if they can fight it over claims of a possible link to autism. The FDA will start notifying doctors. It strongly recommends pregnant women limit Tylenol use unless medically necessary. ABC's Dr. Tara Narula says there is not a study that has found a direct link.
Groups like American College of OBGYNs still support Tylenol as safe, and contrary to what the president said, there is a downside to not treating fever and pain in pregnancy, which is preterm birth, birth defects, miscarriage, maternal anxiety and depression, and high blood pressure.
The Pentagon announcing it is closing an advisory panel established 7 decades ago to focus on women's issues in the military.
It was set up in the midst of the Korean War to find new ways to encourage women to enlist in the armed forces. But now under Pete Hegseth, the Pentagon is shutting down the Defense Advisory Committee on Women in the Services. A Pentagon spokeswoman says the group was recently focused on advancing a divisive feminist agenda. Last decade, the panel pushed the Pentagon to loosen gender-based restrictions on military roles, and it more recently offered recommendations on the reporting of domestic violence incidents.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Severe thunderstorms and tornado threats ramping up for tonight in parts of the South and Midwest. Heavy rain and flash flooding remains a concern in many areas, including Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri.
Fall is here, and Airport Garden Center is ready to help your garden and lawn thrive. Right now, stock up with our soil building conditioner sale. Buy 3 bags of G&B Organics and get the 4th free. It's perfect for breaking up clay, improving drainage, and boosting root growth with added mycorrhizae. Use it for mulching, top dressing, or prepping your soil for fall planting. This deal runs through the end of September. And speaking of planting, cooler temps make fall the best time to plant or transplant. Every Friday this month, check back to see which plants are 20% off during our fall plant sale. Don't forget your lawn. September is ideal for seeding, reseeding, or patching. We carry quality lawn seed blends made just for our region, and our expert staff will help you choose the right seed, fertilizer, and amendments for success. Grow smarter this season. Visit Airport Garden Center in Port Angeles today.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. The decades-long effort to clean up toxic waste at the old Rainier Mill site in Port Angeles has hit another delay. The State Department of Ecology canceled a planned meeting with the city where it was expected to present a responsiveness summary, a review of more than 300 public comments. City officials and residents overwhelmingly opposing Ecology's current plan for the site, which would cap some contaminants in place. City Manager Nathan West says the community is pushing for full removal of the toxins and wants a firm deadline for Ecology's report on the responsiveness summary.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 67. Winds out of the northeast around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight, lows level off around 52. High temperatures reach up to 65 tomorrow, mainly sunny. Upper 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday, with a slight chance of rain. Looking at the long range, 64 Saturday, 64 Sunday, and 61 on Monday. To recap, 67 today, 52 tonight, 65 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 64.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
Hey, welcome once again to the program. Lots to cover today. We got a lot of things happening around our area, and we're going to kick it off with our first segment with Pete Mell from the Naval Elks Lodge here in Port Angeles to give us a little update on the elevator project they have. And the reason we're doing that is we had hoped to have him on today to talk about something else, but the elevator project has caused that something else to move. So we're going to talk about another event coming up a little bit later. So all confusing as that is, Pete, good to see you again.
Thanks all right. Hey, thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me back.
So, let's talk about this, because originally you were planning on an open house coming up, but you're getting a new elevator.
That's
at least
correct.
An upgrade.
We just thought it would be better serve the public not to have an open house without the elevator working. We started work on the elevator on the 22nd, which is good news for us. It actually got moved up, and which means it should be up and operational for our big season for the holidays, when we have all the holiday parties, which just want to put a plug in. If you're looking for a place to have a holiday party, I'm sure that Jessica still has room, but give her a call at the lodge, 457-3357, and she could probably hook up your holiday party if you don't already have a set location. So that said, we're hoping to have that done in about 6 weeks, and we'll be off to a new elevator that still looks like the old elevator.
We were just talking about that, and a lot of people have followed this because you had a concerted fundraising effort to get this.
That's right.
Take us kind of through that process, and then what's going to happen.
So first of all, we've been limping this elevator along for a long time. We've gotten parts from Seattle when they put the new elevators into. I can't think of the name of the building, but it's the fancy white building with the speakeasy on top down there in Seattle.
Oh my gosh! Now I've got
I'm doing it to you.
It'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah, it had the oldest elevators in Seattle, and it was actually our spare parts locker after they put the new ones in, and we've run out of switches from that. So the state basically said, "Hey, it's time to upgrade this to modern technology." So we're going to leave the cab looking the same, except for maybe the control switches itself. Fix the gate a little bit to make it work at 100% instead of 85, and just keep that historic feel for the building. And we'll have that up and going. It's a been concerted effort. It's a house loan to fix an elevator. So so that's what the big fundraising was all about, and is still all about. We have about 2 years in reserve of payments, but we need to keep that going in case of
so we'll still be hearing a little bit more about elevator fundraising.
That's right. You certainly will.
So the gates are going to stay there. They'll be a little bit more modern, and you're going to have. We jokingly said you're going to have a control system that it'll actually stop at
the floor.
At the floor,
right?
Not 6 inches off or not. I told you it's amazing that you were able to keep that hobbling along as long as you were. But part of this, you wanted to keep it as
it's a historic building. Right? We want to keep it that historic feel, and we felt that keeping that cab looking the way it does now was an important part of that. So that's happening right now, and we've got some really good contractors, local and from the Seattle area, that are helping us make that happen.
All right. So, Smith Tower, by the way.
Smith Tower. Thank you. Thank you. Gosh.
That said, so you'll probably be having your open house at some other point down the road, so we'll talk about that. But hopefully you're going to have everything good to go for the next kind of larger event, and that's in October. You've got a murder mystery happening,
we've got a murder mystery, and so I can't promise that the elevator will be running. Bring your walking shoes to come up the 3 flights of stairs. But we're doing Murder at the Old Asylum. This is, I think, is our 3rd or 4th one of these murder mysteries that we've done in the lodge, and it's going to be on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of October. Each night it starts at 6 p.m. It's dinner and a show, so you get a roasted dinner. Roasted chicken, scalloped potatoes, vegetables. There's going to be craft cocktails available. It's $75 a person, and it's a really good event. You can just call the lodge for tickets, or you can go on Ticket Leap. They have them on Ticket Leap for that as well. And my wife and I have gone to two of them. I think there was a 3rd one that we missed. They've all been phenomenal. The production show that puts these on does a very nice job. So I would encourage people to come out and attend.
Now, one of the things, and this leads me to this, you alluded to holiday parties and such. A lot of people think that you have to be an Elks member to use the facilities fully, but you're open to the public for rentals and such.
We are open to the public for rentals. If you are going to have alcohol at your event, there is an insurance requirement, but Jessica, our event coordinator, has all the information, and we'd love to have people use the lodge. We'd like to have things going on in there and keep that building vibrant. So, and the biggest part of our what keeps us running and operating as a building and keeping us paying for the building are the rentals. So we like to have people come in and use the facility. So it's a beautiful facility, and we have lots of options. We don't just have the ballroom. We have smaller rooms. We have the butler room. It's not because there used to be a butler in there. It's named after a man named Butler. We have the dining room, which is sort of set up as a Navy wardroom with pictures from Coast Guard and Navy in there. And we have several other spaces that people can rent and use. So please if you have an interest, get a hold of Jessica, and she can help you out with that.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize you have other options than the ballroom.
Right.
It's a beautiful big facility, but sometimes people say, well, I don't need that much.
I don't need that much. Exactly.
Right.
So, and we have a full catering kitchen. So, please.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a plug and play thing. You can get dinner and a show basically put together for whatever your event is.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Just before we go, last time we had you on, you had the big Elks Play Day that was going on at the. How did things go?
Things went really well. Okay. We did have one small snafu. We didn't get to have the bouncy houses. There was an L&I inspection that issue that we weren't aware of that came up, and it was cost prohibitive to get the inspector out at the last minute to do that. So we made some quick changes, and it was a great day. It was just fantastic seeing the kids out there having fun, playing in the bubbles and going on. So
at Elks Playfield.
At Elks Playfield, yes.
Right. So.
And if we have one more minute, I'll just put
ahead.
one plug in for on the 25th of October, we have the Broadway Rave being put on by Ghostlight Productions in the lodge. So,
excellent.
So that's coming up. Look for more on that online or around town. So, and I think it's on the KONP website.
Yes, it is. Well. Yeah, and we were trying to keep that updated with some of your event things as well. So, okay. Well, Pete, we're going to definitely have you back because you got lots going on with the Naval Elks Lodge here in town.
Well, thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
That's Pete Mell there from Naval Elks Lodge, PA, and we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about a first of its kind authors fair that's happening at Field Hall this weekend. As I said, there's lots going on when we come back right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
North Olympic Healthcare Network is celebrating 10 years of providing high-quality, affordable, and comprehensive primary and preventive care as Clallam County's only community healthcare center. Over the last decade, they've grown responsively to community needs, adding new providers and expanding services to include behavioral health, family dentistry, vision, and pharmacy. Happy anniversary, North Olympic Healthcare Network. Thank you for supporting the health of our community.
Hi, this is Danya Allward with First Fed. First Fed is proud to sponsor the Dungeness Crab Festival, a true community celebration brought to life by the people and businesses of Port Angeles. Crabfest can't happen without volunteers. From serving crab dinners to helping with family activities, it takes hundreds of hands to make this event possible. Join us October 10th through the 12th on the Port Angeles waterfront and sign up to volunteer today at crabfestival.org.
All right, welcome back to the program. Switching gears somewhat, another event that is happening. This is the first time this has happened this way, I guess might be the way to say it, and that is this Saturday from 10 until 2 at Field Hall in downtown PA. There's going to be an Olympic Peninsula local author book fair, and one of those authors and one of the people that's helping put all of this together is Jen Flanagan, and she joins us this afternoon. Hi, Jen. Thanks for coming in. So let's talk about this. This is a free event. This is really a chance. You just gave me the updated list. I think it might be every author I know around here is going to be at this thing as far as local authors go.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a lot of local authors. We've got Darcy McGuire and some of our old standbys we've had for a long time, and Heidi Hansen, some new names here as well, and the Port Book and News and the local North Olympic Library System will have tables available as well. So it's going to be really exciting.
So the point of this, you're hoping folks will come and really have a chance to just do, I guess, a meet and greet on steroids somewhat, right?
Correct. Yes, absolutely. I really am trying to connect local authors with book readers. We've got book readers everywhere. There's been a huge resurgence of readers, and it's very exciting. And so we don't have a huge space for that in town here. So we've got a lot of places for crafters, but not for authors. So I really want to connect them. And then the Olympic Library System is going to be there to help get people library cards. And so we can just get people reading.
Right. This is going to be in the lobby area at Field Hall, right? The downstairs foyer, if
That's
you want
correct.
to call it that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So how does this set up? What is it going to look like? People come, what are they going to find?
Yeah, so we're going to have tables set up along that whole center corridor of the of the lobby down there on the first floor. So you can get a cup of coffee down at the Waterfront Cafe and then walk along and look at different books. If you don't have a library card and you'd like to sign up for one, they are going to be able to do that there as well. But we've got books from nonfiction to mystery and romance and fantasy, pretty much any genre you can think of.
It's a pretty robust community of authors here locally. I mean, as I mentioned, there's you've got quite a list of folks from just who live right here, our neighbors that are authors.
Yeah, absolutely. So I write some cozy mysteries and some paranormal romance, so romance with some magic in it. Mm-hmm. And my most current series is based in Orca Cove, a fictional town off the Hood Canal. So it's a group of friends that have come together and they get magical powers in a night swim in the Hood Canal. So it's fun. It's great escapism. And but that's just one of the series we've got available at the book fair here.
And as you mentioned, there's a little something for everybody. That's what I like. Is that really for all of these authors we have here, it's not everybody's writing the same genre.
Correct. And I've been really excited about connecting these local authors too. A lot of these, this is their first book that they've ever published. And when I talked to I think it was the bookstore. They were saying, I didn't realize we had this many local authors. And I've had even more contact me since we filled the 20 tables we had available. So I'm hoping next year we might even, if this goes well, we might even be able to go bigger and make something even better for Port Angeles here.
Now, of course, people can buy a book from these authors while you're there, right? To get a book signed.
That's correct.
I mean, that's part of this whole thing.
Yep. You can meet some authors here. You can get new books. You can shop for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And figure out what we have in town.
So how did you get started? What got you writing, the books you write now?
Sure.
Take us through your story.
Sure. Well, I've always been a big reader, and I think that's a kind of a prerequisite to be a writer. So I love stories. I've been writing since I can really ever remember, jotting down little stories as a kid. I have a cozy mystery series set in Chicago because I lived in Illinois, and I moved to Port Angeles a few years ago, but vacationing in the area and falling in love with it, and that's where the Orca Cove series came from. And so that's been what I've been writing.
You developed that while you were on vacation?
It is.
You did? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Love that.
Yes.
So it was like, I'm going to write a book about this place.
Yes. Actually, funny enough, my daughter was young at the time. She was 13, and we came out to do the Twilight thing, which was really fun. And so she had that. She enjoyed that. And then I fell in love with the area. My husband and I did, and we eventually made it out here. And the thoughts for Orca Cove were born. And so now it's 3 of 5 books in the series have been published, and it's gotten good visibility.
How hard is it to get? It's good news and bad news the day that we're in now, because you can self-publish, you can do a lot of things on your own. So the days of trying to get picked up by Random House or somebody like that are not like they used to. But yet I've also talked to people saying it's actually more difficult in other ways.
It can be. So the indie publishing route has changed a lot over the years, especially for some genres in romance, like paranormal romance.
Okay.
It was never really a big space for that in the publishing houses. So many of us went to indie because of that, and they still haven't really caught up with it for certain genres like that. In other genres, it's still working well, and you give a lot of hybrid authors that are doing a little bit of both, and it's kind of exciting space because you can have power of every bit of your decision, and you have to do all the responsibility for your editing and your cover designers, and
that's like scary for some folks.
It's very scary. Yes,
because some people are like, I just want to write the book. Very good. But you're cranking them out, so you're enjoying this obviously, and it looks like it's going to take off. And what a great opportunity to come maybe discover somebody who's writing a certain genre of book here, and then I just find it kind of cool because it's like, oh, they live in the same town as me?
It is.
Wow, right?
Yeah.
It's like you could say, I knew her way back when, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, before. Okay, so that's 10 a.m. till 2. That's at Field Hall in the lower lobby there, downtown PA. Free admission.
That's correct.
Just come and meet some authors. And how many you got here? I didn't count up.
It's 23 different authors or bookstores.
Excellent. All right. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to having you back again and talking about 40-some that you'll have next year, right?
That's the goal. Absolutely.
All right. That's Jen Flanagan. And give us a couple of titles if somebody wants to pick one of yours up.
Saltwater Cures, Uncharted Waters, and Star-Crossed.
There you go. Look for those wherever you get your favorite books, right?
And Port Brooke News. It's there available.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Jen. Good
Thank
luck this
you.
weekend.
Appreciate it.
We're going to take a break. We're going to continue in kind of the arts theme of things and talk about the latest production with the Port Angeles Community Players, and that's coming up next.
Medicare open enrollment is here. For a lot of people, it's still confusing. But don't worry, help is available with the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and SHIBA. Find out what's changing and learn your Medicare options with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Get your free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit now at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
Our local food banks are in greater and greater need. Help the Port Angeles and Sequim food banks raise critical supplies for families in our community by donating non-perishable food items today through this Thursday. In Port Angeles, you can drop off your donations at Price Ford. In Sequim, donate items inside the QFC. This food drive is on now through this Thursday, and they need your help. Reflections Counseling hosts Recovery Bash 2025 this Friday at the Vern Burton Community Center. Whether you're in recovery, supporting someone who is, or seeking resources, all are welcome. Come connect, celebrate, and discover critical resources during Recovery Bash 2025 this Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Vern Burton Center. It's free to attend.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony, inviting you to join me for our first concert of the 93rd season, Saturday, September 27th at 7:30 p.m. at the Port Angeles High School Performing Arts Center. This program will feature something for the entire family, including music from Star Trek and Aaron Copland's Hoedown. Lisa Bergman from Classical King FM will narrate Britain's Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, and violin superstar Francisca Peach will perform Korngold's dazzling violin concerto. For a special treat, choruses from Port Angeles and Sequim High Schools will join us in music by Leonard Bernstein. Tickets are available online at portangelessymphony.org, at Port Book and News, at the door, or by calling 457-5579. See you at the Symphony.
All right. Well, as I told you, a busy day today. Lots to cover. Later in the show, we're going to get a visit from George Washington on the air as well. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about the Port Angeles Community Players, and they're kicking off their 74th season this weekend, actually, with the latest production, and it's The Foreigner. And we have a couple of folks very much involved with the players and this production as well. We welcome Ken Winters and Melanie Toddenham into the program. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you both. Ken, let's go to you here first. Let's just first talk about 74 years with the players. I mean, this is you're getting close to a really big number next year, but still, a lot of people don't realize you've been around this long.
We are. One thing that always shocks me is when I come across somebody who's lived in Port Angeles for 10 plus years and they didn't even know we existed.
Yeah.
We're trying to remedy that. We cleared out a bunch of bushes that were blocking the view of our building. We got a new gorgeous paint job, getting a new sign. We're trying to get some visibility because we have a good product.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful theater. It's such a fun place to go watch a show in.
Yeah, we have a 118-seat auditorium. No seat is more than 4 rows away from the stage.
Yeah.
It's an intimate, energy, fun experience.
Now, none of us in the room were there when this thing all started, but in the historical Ken, how did the players get started?
It was way before my time. Basically, it was mainly a group of women, I believe, who wanted to put on live theater because there was none in the area. And they started doing dinner theaters and putting on a show in living rooms or any place they could find and people might show up. And so the Port Angeles Community Players as a group started in 1952.
All right, and here we go. Yeah, 74 years, which is just amazing. Okay, so you're kicking it off this weekend with The Foreigner. That said, Ken, tell us about The Foreigner, and we'll work Melody into this conversation as well.
The Foreigner, it's been done before at the Playhouse about 10, 12 years ago. It is a hilarious show. It's based in a fishing lodge in Georgia. So we had to learn Georgian accents, kind of. And there's one of the guests is from Britain, and he's terribly shy, so he doesn't want to talk. So this story is concocted that he doesn't understand English. And before he knows it, he's hearing these intimate details about other people's lives and some scheming from some villainous characters. And a lot of humorous things ensues.
Right. You can only imagine, right? So, Ken, your involvement in this, tell us about what you're doing in the production.
Yeah, I'm on the cast. I play the Reverend David Lee, a distant relative of Robert E. Lee.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How's your Georgia accent? Is it come along all right?
I hate to do it live on the microphone, but if you want me to, I can try.
That sounds pretty good. That's pretty good. I have some friends in Georgia. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Nice work. All right. Melody Tottenham is here as well, and your involvement is?
I am the production manager for this show, and for those of you that don't know, that means I keep everybody on schedule and hopefully under budget.
I call it cat herding, right? More or less in theater. Yeah, it's an important part of this show as well. How big of a cast is this? Do you have a pretty good? You probably have a pretty full job.
7, isn't it? Yes, we have 7 people, and it's an amazing cast. Not everybody's worked with each other before. Our director is awesome, and they just have brought the characters to life. As the production manager, I get to see it from before we ever start, throughout the thing, and then, opening night. And all I can say is, in the beginning, when they don't have a clue what they're saying yet, they don't even know where they're supposed to stand yet, it was funny. Yeah. And now, I haven't seen them for 2 weeks, but the last time I was in there, it was so funny. I had belly pains from laughing so hard. It's hysterical.
So take it from the cat herder, the one who had to put it all together to make sure that it all stays on the tracks, right?
Yep.
How long have you been, Melody, involved in the Players?
I started with the Players in 20. Before then, I was just an audience member, and having no clue what it took to put on a show. And I started during COVID when we were dark, helping paint. I was allowed to paint some very big rooms in there to clean it up. And my joy from retirement was I wanted to be a stage manager, and they gave me the opportunity. So I've done a lot of stage management for the play, and now training people to be stage managers. But then they conned me into getting on the board. So I have a little bit of everything at the Playhouse.
But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I like it.
Yeah, she has now been recruited to be the director of our next show.
Oh, you've moved up from stage managing now.
No.
and painting, for that matter. Have you ever acted at all? Have you ever
Yes,
done?
I have.
Okay.
I was in Christmas Dreams at the Playhouse in last December.
But you like the tech side of it. It sounds like a little bit more.
I like all of it. I would act more if you didn't have to memorize lines. But I'm a fairly decent sewer, so I've helped with a ton of costumes, and I like putting things together. I like painting. So it's just fun to be part of a team that is so much fun to work with.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Ken has been involved. How long have you been involved with the Players?
Around 10 years. Yeah. I started out acting, and I too got conned into being on the board. And I thought, oh, sure, I can help out with facilities and change light bulbs, maybe fix plumbing leak. And before I knew it, I was doing lighting design and marketing and co-directing a couple times, and it's a busy.
Yeah.
But I retired this year.
So you have all this time. Don't tell that to them too loudly, though, because they'll take all your time.
I voluntarily give a lot of my time because it is fun.
Right. People who are in theater, I mean, there's a joy you get from it. This really is.
Yes.
There's a reason it's a theater bug. You get bitten by it, and it's you just can't not do it.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to be there out of obligation, not having a good time.
Right.
You know, we're called a playhouse because we're adults and children who enjoy playing through the art of theater.
That's a great way to put it. I like that as well. Okay, so tickets and such. How do we go see the show? How long are you running with The Foreigner?
We open Friday night, 7 o'clock, this Friday. We run until October 12th. Fridays and Tuesdays, we've switched times to 7 p.m. We used to be 7:30, but people prefer getting home a little earlier in the dark months. And Saturday and Sunday are a 2 p.m. matinee. Tickets are on our website, pacommunityplayers.org, or you can show up at the box office 30 minutes before opening.
All right. Anything else brewing in this season you want to highlight besides this opening thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are so excited about our season, and our Christmas play is going to be a very non-traditional Christmas play, so you don't have to come and see something you've seen a gazillion times. We have the amazing playwright Shannon Cosgrove, who is very well known for her panto-style plays, and she's written a play specifically for our playhouse, and we are going to just have a ton of fun with it. There's good things and there's evil things, and there's a Santa that just disappears, so stay tuned. You're really going to have to come and see it.
So that's a different holiday fare that will be offered this year as well.
The auditions for that are October 1st and October 4th at the Playhouse. And another show we have coming up, and this is one I've been excited for a few years, The Play That Goes Wrong.
Oh, yes.
It is a play with a set that has every disaster imaginable. A group of us who are going to be involved went and saw a professional version of it in Seattle last weekend, and my stomach still hurts from laughing.
Okay.
So it's going to be a challenging play to build the set, but we've got a good team put together.
And when's that opening?
That's going to be in March.
Okay, so that's coming up after next year as well. So for people who want to get involved with this, I mean, this is a community players thing. You're looking for folks that want to, step into roles. Maybe they want to paint a wall or do something like that. What's the best way to, get involved if you wanted?
Well, you contact me. And I'm the Director of Volunteers.
Oh, there you go.
So we have an email for volunteer with PACP, .com. Right? Yeah. That's not right. Volunteer with PACP at google.com.
I don't know your email.
At gmail.com. I'm sorry. What am I saying wrong? There's a wrong word in there.
Gmail.com. That's your, so it's volunteer
on the
website. It might be the best thing to do because you can learn about all of these shows and everything else.
Because people see it, and we get a lot of volunteers from people contacting us saying, we don't know what we can do, but we can find something.
You'll find something. That's right.
What's funny about volunteers is a lot of them will come in thinking, well, I don't really know how to do much, and pretty soon they see something else that looks fun, and they grow and they're more involved in more and more things. We've got a brand new stage manager who basically he knew almost nothing about theater 9 months ago when he joined us, and he's just doing a little of everything now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of how you all get started. You start, put a little foot in the door, next thing you know, you're on the board. And you're doing all the other stuff too. Right.
Don't let that scare you away.
No. But do out there go see The Foreigner. You got a couple of weeks to watch that and help kick off the 74th season with the Port Angeles Community Players. Ken Witters, good to see you again. Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for having us.
And a great Southern accent going there. Georgian accent, that's great. And also Melanie Tottenham, thank you for coming in as well. It's great to see you guys. I'm sure we'll be chatting again as we go through this upcoming season a little bit more. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more right after. after this.
Jim's Pharmacy is currently administering seasonal flu and COVID vaccines, Monday through Friday, 9 till 6, with no appointment necessary. Trivalent flu vaccines are available for ages 5 and up. High dose is available for ages 65 and older. And COVID vaccines and Moderna vaccines are available for ages 12 and up. Contact our pharmacists with questions. 360-452-4200, option 5. Jim's Pharmacy, located behind the Port Angeles Post Office. Let Jim's be your partner in health.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Florida, a jury found Ryan Ruth guilty on all counts in the attempted assassination trial of Donald Trump last year at a golf course. Ruth had represented himself at trial. ABC's Alex Mallon has more.
Prosecutors put on about 38 witnesses who testified that Ryan Ruth came really close in that September 2024 day to killing President Trump on his golf course in West Palm Beach. You know, he was obviously spotted by a Secret Service officer who saw him perched in a collection of bushes. Prosecutors said that if he was not spotted, he could have come within about 140 feet of President Trump.
Marshals surrounded Ruth after the verdict was read after an outburst in court where Ruth tried to stab himself in the neck with a pin. Aside from a mark, he did not harm himself. Ruth will be sentenced in December. President Trump calling it a very big moment for justice in America. This is ABC News.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Interested in protecting waters in the Sequim area? Join us Thursday morning, October 9th from 9:30 till 11:30 at the Dungeness River Center, located at 1943 West Hendrickson Road, for a pollution identification and correction community meeting hosted by Clallam County Environmental Health, Clallam Conservation District, Jamestown's Clallam Tribe, and Stream Keepers of Clallam County. Learn about the Sequim Dungeness Clean Water District and learn about the assistance available for on-site septic system inspections, repairs, and agricultural technical support.
You may have seen on the news gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Sequim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
Prep for fall with a new wardrobe to replace those summer clothes. Right now, during the Get Ready for Fall sale, get women's Lee jeans for 20% off. Helly Hansen women's outdoor apparel for 20% off. Women's Wise Blend wool blend socks for only $4.87 a pair, and women's and kids Western Chief boots and kids waterproof boots. And don't worry guys, we have your footwear sale covered too, with Irish Setter waterproof boots with a whopping $40 off. Huge savings happening now at Swain's General Store.
It is my pleasure to have returning George Washington. Well, actually, one of the premier impersonators of George Washington, and we are fortunate to have him be a resident of our area, and that's Vern Frickholm joining us. And Vern, great to have you back. It's been a long time, but we're bringing you back because you have a very busy year coming up with the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and all of that. So welcome, and let's talk a little bit about how you became George Washington. Take people back to how you first started doing your impersonation of him.
Okay, thank you for having me on, too, Todd. I appreciate that. I brought my kids to Mount Vernon 25 years ago, and they had a welcomer there, and then every 30 minutes they would take them in to Mount Vernon. The guy that was doing the speaking was so great that I told the family to go in, I'm going to listen to a second one. And that was great, so I listened to a third one. And then 20 years later, a fella came here and talked to the George Washington Inn about George Washington, and he invited folks that wanted to come over to the East Coast to follow him around for a week, and I did that. And I made the statement, I wish somebody would do George Washington in the state of Washington. And the guy says, why don't you? And so that's how I started, and been doing this for 13 years.
And it is amazing. We're not on television, can't show pictures of you, but anybody who's seen you do this, you are George Washington. You personify, I guess, what we think George Washington should be. Tell us a bit about how you create the costuming and the character and all of that. What did you do to come up with your rendition of George?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I voraciously read, and it's my background, Todd, is not history. It's not American history. Yeah. We had the football coach teaching us in 8th grade, and he was boring. So I had to read and to understand more than what an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper says. And the more I read, the more I was sucked into that. Todd, I've read over 200 books, hundreds of different articles, and so in trying to not only know facts, but get into his skin. And he wasn't a guy that, was emotional. I mean, if anything, he was stoic. And so there are additional challenges. So now you go to what other people had to say about him, and then not all historians agree. And so I've had to try to get a feel for who and what he was, his values, his principles. And when you do that, you take a look at his actions and you say, yes, those actions reflect the character that I'm trying to portray.
I have to ask you this right off the get. Is it hot being in that costume?
Absolutely. Let me tell you, in July, and that's when the Lavender Festival and the Northwest Colonial Festival was for years at the George Washington Inn, and it was hot.
You pull it off pretty well, though, so it's great. I have to say that when you meet Vern outside of the costume, you may not recognize him because I only know him. I know him more as George than Vern, so sometimes I have to go, oh yeah, hi, Vern. That's a good thing. Take that as a compliment.
Well, thank you.
Now, you've got George Washington Speaks, which is a 501c3 organization that you're part of. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, back in June of 21, we were ramping things up for the 2026, and we decided that we'd go with a website, and then we'd have more Facebook presence, YouTube channel, and Instagram. I have not done Twitter as of yet, but we wanted to ramp up, and so now there are 9 or 10 of us that do various things to present George Washington Speaks.
But the best part is seeing you do your thing live and in person. There's nothing better than that.
Oh, hey, I love it. Interacting. You hear actors and other people talk about it's the audience that matters. Well, it really does. And so when I go into a classroom, and I've been over 250, 300 different classrooms, interact with those kids. And, of course, sometimes they're sleepy, and it's on George to get them activated, to touch them where they're at. And when that happens, oh, my gosh, it is marvelous. So I live for that on site. However, I also Zoom in and have had some amazing conversations.
So tell us a bit about the importance of George Washington, especially as we head into this anniversary, the 250 coming up next year. Kind of your messaging about this. I think, most people think of George Washington as the premier, forefather, so to speak, of this country. Certainly as the first president, that matters.
Well, so going into the 250th, our focus for the next year and a half actually is celebrating America, and we're just finishing up a series of 130 quotes that follows the formation of the country and by the founding fathers. Then we're going to grow and follow George's life, who he was, with another series of 130 quotes. So we see how the country has changed over a period of time. We were also starting at a local radio station with Fridays. We give a 5-minute overview of whatever that week is, of what's happened during those revolutionary times.
Yes.
And we bring in different people that you've heard about but don't know the backstory. And we talk about events that we've never heard of that are amazing. A guy at Fort Henry rides his horse down a 150-foot slope to get help, comes back with reinforcements and breaks the attack. Who heard about McCullough? Well, it's in one of our 5-minute things. So we're going to have about 70 of those little 5-minute segments over the next year and a half. So we're focusing in on what's to celebrate. And actually, that was the question at the Clallam County Fair that we asked people. What is it about America that you treasure, that you love? And they responded.
Can you fill us in? What was some of the response?
The best response, or most people said freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom, and then, of course, the follow-up question, freedom to do what? And people talked about, speech. Well, what do you mean? And say, we can express who we are without the fear of being hauled away and locked up. And it just comes from us. We can't even, ameliorate it. We just express it, and they love that. Other responses was, there was, over the 4 days, 3 different gals that mentioned that the freedom to be a woman, who we are. 2 of those had been to countries that didn't allow that. And when they came back, oh my gosh, it was like bathing in the sunlight. That to me really opened up my eyes. And then another gal, she was with her dad and family, and she dressed in a way that was expressive of her. And he said freedom, and I said, of expression. That we can dress as we are, we could go for ourselves as we are, and he gets this smile on his face, and he turns to his daughter, and he says, yes, freedom of expression. So, wow, that leads places that you don't even know you're going, but it encourages us as Americans. We don't know what we have, so that's what we're doing over the next year and a half.
I love it.
Talking about what we have and how we got there.
What do you think people don't understand most about George Washington? As you being kind of the premier guy here in our state, and you've done so much research, what don't we know, or you'd be most surprised about Washington?
Wow, big question. We don't know his heart. There are, different authors that bring their backgrounds, their biases, and take a look at him, how they want to take a look at him. My read is he has this huge heart. He gave 45 years of his life to serving this country. People say, well, there's this flaw and there's that flaw. Look at 45 years. During the war, 8.5 years, he slept with his troops. He was to Mount Vernon 1 time. Who does that? Who gives themselves? We don't know about the number of times that he was almost killed. 3 different times. His aides had to pull him back from the front because he was ahead of the troops and between them and the British. At one point, he was 30 yards away, and there was a volley from both sides. There was smoke all over the place, and one of his aides said, he's dead. He's dead. When it cleared, he was there swinging his sword and say, "Let's go, boys, let's pursue him." He did that 3 different times, and then other countless times that he should have died. That's going to be part of also our weekly events for the next year and a half, that when he does that, that's highlighted. This man believed in the cause. He gave everything. I mean, he was a loyalist until 1774. And then 1775, he essentially said, you know, England, the mother country, is going to continue to badger us. And, of course, in 76, Declaration of Independence, the same day that the British began landing over 30,000 troops on Staten Island, the same day, July 2nd, when Congress approved, didn't sign it, but wow, the biggest expeditionary force ever landed up to that time against their subjects.
Yeah.
I love the heart of this man, Todd, and hopefully that comes out in portraying George.
Well, I think it does. I've seen you do it a few times. Differentiate too somewhat, and I'm sure you will do this as we go through the next year. There's the George Washington the general and the George Washington the president, kind of two different. Not one was better than the other, but distinct leadership, right?
Yes, and as president, of course, oh my gosh, there was never a republic like we had. Separation of powers, 3 branches, recognizing that man, given power and everything, tends to corruption, greed, power. And he knew everything that he did would put a precedent. You take a look at his 8 years. If you want the summary, you go to his farewell speech that he didn't give because he had only one tooth left. He had it in all the newspapers, and I presented that to an SAR grouping. It took an hour expounding on the 9 dangers that he said await us, that we must not do. And that's after 45 years of public service. He says, these are the things that we have to be extremely careful of, because if we let these things go, it's over.
Yeah.
Now that's sobering.
It is. And some people who have looked at that said, oh my gosh, some of these are coming true. I mean, we're living in a time where we were warned about some of these things.
Absolutely. And not only he, but John Adams and Alexander Hamilton as well. And that was part of the 130 quotes that we have. And we're 100 through the 30, and the last 30, it's on this same issues. We as a people must be united. We don't have to agree on everything, but we must realize that for each of us to have the best for whatever slice of the community we have, the nation must be strong. It must be united in those freedoms and allow us to express our individual differences. And if you go back and research what happens to empires, when empires fail, it's from the top down. The leadership begins to squabble, and then the people begin to squabble, and then, its economy falters, and all on down. That's a side thing. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's totally, but I think very legitimate. Washington, I think true, a reluctant leader, wasn't he? I mean, you were talking about these 45 years of service, but, he did it willfully, but it wasn't like he, really was wanting this. It was thrust on him in some ways.
Yes, and actually, after he was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, he waited 2 or 3 days to write a letter to Martha, because he had promised her.
I was coming back.
Yeah, and so he says, no, they drafted me. When John Adams stood up, and it became obvious to Washington that Adams was going to suggest him for Commander-in-Chief, he left the room.
Yeah. It's crazy. Vern, where your website? I think that's a great place for people to jump on. Where do we find you online these days?
George Washington Speaks. Just type that up. It'll bring up the website. It'll also bring up the Facebook and the YouTube. We have over 250 YouTubes online. We're going to be adding more. Also, the Facebook, we have over 30,000 followers. And so there are a lot of folks that are viewing those posts, and hopefully we'll continue to make them interesting for folks.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
At Angelus Rentals, your favorite employee-owned rental store, we're known for renting top-tier tools and equipment to keep your projects moving. Did you know we also stock and sell a full lineup of Husqvarna outdoor power equipment? From chainsaws that power through the toughest cuts to trimmers, edgers, and blowers, built for precision and power, Husqvarna delivers the performance professionals and homeowners trust. Looking to upgrade that mower? We carry Husqvarna riding, zero-turn, and even robotic auto mowers that mow while you kick back and relax. Plus, we've got all the accessories like bars, chains, oil, and safety gear to keep your equipment running strong. So whether you're here to rent the right tool for today or invest in Husqvarna's legendary quality, Angelus Rentals has you covered. Visit angelusrentals.com for more info, and as always, we deeply appreciate you for shopping local and employee-owned.
Hi, this is Clallam PUD. If you're always on the go, you'll love our Smart Hub mobile app. You can pay your bill, report outages or other problems, and unlock new ways to save energy through monitoring your usage history, all from your phone. It's more than an app. It's a key to saving time and money. Innovation in your pocket, that's power. Download the app from our website at clallampud.net. Clallam PUD, bringing energy to life.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company. If you're interested in a metal roof, prices are going up across the country, but we receive volume discounts through the manufacturer, and we pass that savings on to you. Act now and call 360-208-2222. Financing is available.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
From the straight to the sound, Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles Sequim, is celebrating 80 years serving our community. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Crime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. In a wide-ranging address to world leaders at the UN General Assembly, President Trump touted his administration's policies, including border security, and questioned the United Nations' role when it comes to preventing and ending wars.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential.
The president also criticized countries for recognizing a Palestinian state, saying it rewards Hamas before finalizing a ceasefire deal in Gaza and securing the release of all hostages. On the sidelines, President Trump met with Ukraine's President Zelensky and voiced frustration to reporters about Russia's continued attacks on Ukraine and Russian drones breaching NATO member countries' airspace.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
President Trump also doubled down on sanctions against Russia and demanded European leaders stop buying Russian oil. Later, in a social media post, he says Ukraine is in a position to win back its country. ABC's Rachel Scott says it's a long way from the president's summit with Vladimir Putin.
Putin has shown no signs of stopping the aggression, stopping the violence, something that the president is clearly aware of. The question now is, where does this actually go from here, and how much pressure is the president willing to apply on Russian President Vladimir Putin to get him to possibly change his ways, if that's what he even really wants?
Today, a Florida jury found Ryan Ruth guilty on all 5 counts in the assassination attempt of Donald Trump last year on a golf course. The jury came back with a verdict after just 2 hours of deliberations. Ruth represented himself at the trial. Sentencing takes place on December 18th. And changes are coming to baseball. Starting next season, Major League Baseball will officially use robot umpires to call balls and strikes as part of a challenge system. Human umpires will still make the calls, but the robotic cameras will check the accuracy of those calls. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
As a shutdown deadline looms at the end of the month, President Trump now says he won't take a meeting with congressional Democratic leaders.
In refusing a sit-down, the president says Democrats are making unserious and ridiculous demands. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer told reporters at a New York news conference that the president is not a king.
The way this country works, you got to sit down with people you may not agree with and come to an agreement, come to a negotiation.
A week before the shutdown deadline, Schumer and his fellow Democrats threatened to filibuster a short-term funding stopgap if it doesn't extend expiring tax credits that have made Obamacare plans more affordable. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Jimmy Kimmel Live returning to the air tonight. The show was preempted due to comments made by Kimmel following the fatal shooting of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel Live is returning to production. Two large owners of ABC-affiliated television stations say they will continue to preempt the show. Sinclair Broadcasting says discussions with ABC are ongoing as it evaluates the show's potential return. And Nexstar says its stations will continue to produce local news and other programming relevant to their respective markets. Nexstar saying in a statement that Jimmy Kimmel Live will still be available for its audiences on Disney-owned streaming platforms.
Disney is the parent company of ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
It's time for your monthly Market Minute with critical insights from local real estate pro May Graves.
Ready to buy a home? Whether it's your first home or it's been 30 years since you shopped for a home, the rules have changed. Here's all you need to know. Step 1, Google best real estate agent or top realtor in your town. Read the reviews and find an agent who matches your style and work ethic. Step 2, call that agent and ask for their trusted lender recommendation. I typically recommend a mortgage broker since brokers will compare all the rates for you and find the best lending options and guide you through the process of pre-approval. Step 3, get out and see some homes. But wait, if you've got a home to sell first, don't stress. There are many options to help you buy before you sell without liquidating your investments. The key to a great home buying experience? Start with a great agent. This is May Graves, Sequim and Port Angeles Realtor, ranked in the top 1% of agents in the state of Washington for 2024 by Real Trends Verified.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. 67 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies, north winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows around 52 tonight. 65 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. Upper 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday with a slight chance for rain. Take a look at the extended forecast, 64 Saturday, 64 Sunday, and 61 on Monday. Once again, highs reach 67 today, low of 52 tonight. We should top out at 65 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 66.
Normal is broke and common sense is weird. So we are here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network and the Fairwinds Credit Union Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and host of the runaway hit on Ramsey Network called Front Row Seat. He's my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Joseph is in Orlando. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yes, so I'm in a current situation, but before I get into it, I just want to say I'm a big fan. I've been watching this show for quite a while.
Thank you.
Yes. So I am 31. My wife is 26. And I read the Total Money Makeover book. And I want to pretty much get out of debt. We have about 65,000 in debt. And I'm trying to convince her to stop using credit cards. But she just doesn't want to. She keeps saying that she wants to get points, that there's benefits to it. And I'm trying to convince her that we need to try to stick to a budget and, to get rid of the debt. I had a plan to get rid of it in about 2.5 years, but we're just stuck in baby step 1. I can't even get like $1,000 for the emergency savings. And we keep running out of money and then having to use the emergency fund. And
how long have you all been married,
honey? We're about 3.5 years of marriage.
And what's your household income?
Together it's 115.
Okay. Well, you did the classic man mistake. Women seldom make this mistake, but men often make it in this exact conversation. The man mistake that I have made in my younger years, I don't do it anymore, and the one that you made was you read something and got some new information that she doesn't have, became inspired, and then walked into the room and announced what we're going to do, instead of talking about why we're going to do it. So let's start again. Walk into the room and say, honey, I'm sorry. I goofed up. I'm really excited about this idea of getting out of debt because I'm really terrified of where we are right now. We make $115,000. We owe $65,000 in debt. We can't even keep $1,000 in our account because we do such a bad job of handling money. And this is terrifying me. I need your help to look at that and dream with me about what it would be like to have no debt, to have a plan that we are both in agreement on where we're going, and then we will decide how we're going to get there together. When she says, yes, I believe being debt-free is the shortest path to wealth, now she's caught up to you. But you're also the only one doing the budget. You're the only one handling the money, and she's acting like a little girl over here, and Daddy's got her on